Hello students, welcome for this course on object-oriented programming in Java, and from this class we are going to discuss about our next unit, that is unit number 3. In this unit we are basically going to discuss about the very important terms in object-oriented programming language, that is termed as class and Java. You will find that whenever we are writing any Java program, so that Java program is basically consisting of some classes, and in order to execute that class we'll be requiring the objects. So what exactly do you mean by class and object? That is what the thing we are going to see in much more detailed manner in this particular unit. As well, we are going to discuss that what is array, as you already familiar with the term what is array when you talked about when you learned the C programming language. You also seen that the different types of array which was there. So the same array we are going to use in Java programming language. The syntax and semantics is bit changed in Java, but nevertheless the purpose of using the array or the application of the array will be the same. And we're going to see the different types of array in Java, that is a single dimensional array, two dimensional array, and multi-dimensional array. So in this particular unit, these are what the content of unit number 3, in which we are going to start with the arrays and we are going to conclude this unit by declaring the objects or by using the classes. But before diving to this particular unit and before starting with the actual content of this particular unit, we are going to discuss the very important term in order to write the Java program, that is called as IDE. No, we have when you are no when we are discussed or when we are started our first unit, so we have seen that there are different IDEs for writing the Java program, and during our previous classes I also demonstrate you that how to execute your first Java program. And in order to execute that particular Java program, we have used the notepad, we have used the command prompt, and we have seen some commands like java c, then java, in order to execute the program. But you must have found that it is bit laborious task, right? Every now and then I have to go to the notepad in order to make the correction, then again I have to shift to the command prompt to check whether my program is successfully return whether it is correct or not. Again I have to shift to notepad, and that switching is always there, right? Whenever you want to execute the program by means of the basic notepad or the text editor, and that is little bit painful for the programmer. So in order to ease the life of programmer or to just make your execution bit faster and easier, we are using the IDEs. You're already familiar with this term what is IDE, because when we discuss about the Python, when we executed the program for the Python, so we have make use of the IDEs, like we have used the Anaconda, we have used the Jupyter, so all those are the IDEs. Even when you learn the C programming language, you have make use of the code blocks, that is again the IDE, right? So IDE is nothing but the integrated development environment, which is just easing the life of the programmer by providing the so many things into the single editor. So that is what we are going to see in this particular class, that how exactly we are going to configure the Eclipse onto your respective machine and how we are going to execute the Java program onto that particular Eclipse. So before starting with how to configure the Eclipse and before how to write the program in Eclipse, you should remember that in order to open the Eclipse, in order to write the program in Eclipse, your machine should have the Java, right? That is, your machine or your Java should be successfully configured or properly configured onto your machine. You can run the Eclipse only if the Java is installed, Java is configured on your machine. And how to check whether the Java is successfully configured on your machine or not? The simple way, that is simply open the command prompt, type the command java c, right, and press enter. If you are getting the error after java c that this command is not found or there is some error, then you can see that java is not configured successfully onto your machine. So in that case you have to set your environment variable, and again you have to check whether the java c command is successfully running on your machine or not. If it is, then Java C or then Java is successfully configured in your machine. In my case, when I type the Java C command, so I'm not getting any error, it does mean that the Java is successfully or properly configured onto my machine. So I can know, I can execute the Eclipse, I can run the Eclipse. So that is the first thing. Second thing, again, Eclipse is not the pre-installed software which is available on the machine. So we need to download that from the Google, then you need to configure that. So in order to execute that, we'll simply open the Google, right? And to just choose that which option I need to choose, because we know that whenever you're talking about operating system, whether it is a Linux, whether it is a Mac, whether it is a Windows, it is either can be the 32-bit or 64-bit. So very first thing that we need to check that which type of system you are having, and in order to check that, you simply have to know open the. If you are having a Windows 10, you will be getting the option of this PC. If you are having a Windows 7, you will be getting the My Computer as an option. So simply right click on this PC or My Computer and go to the properties option, and there you will find that which type of system type you are using, whether it is a 32-bit or 64-bit. So in my case, I am having a Windows 10 and my type of system is 64-bit, right? And that is the reason when I know search for the Eclipse on Google, I type Windows 10 64-bit, right? So the moment you type this Eclipse download for Windows 10 64-bit, you will be getting the link for eclipse.org. So simply click on that. So once you click on that, you will be getting the several options to choose from, right? You will be getting a Windows 32-bit, you will be getting a Windows 64-bit, you will be getting the link for Mac OS, you will be getting the link for Linux operating system. So whichever type of operating system you are using, you simply will choose that particular installation or downloading file. In my case, it is Windows 10 64-bit. So I'll be using that particular link, and it will now start downloading the Eclipse for me. So already downloaded it. So here you will be getting the zip file once you download the Eclipse onto your machine. So once you are getting this zip file, you will be unzipping it. So once you unzip, you will be getting the list of files like that, right? Now how to open the Eclipse? So once you are having this number of files onto your machine, you will simply click on this Eclipse icon. So simply double click on this Eclipse icon. It will now start opening the Eclipse for you. It will take some time to load the Eclipse and to open the Eclipse for you. So you have to wait till the time. So the moment you just double click onto the Eclipse and Eclipse is get loaded, the very first thing the Eclipse will ask, that is the workspace. So the workspace is nothing but the directory where you want to know, save your work, save your file, save your project, right? That is the workspace, and you can create a number of for your Eclipse, right? Whereas the workspace is nothing but indicating that on which directory or in which directory you want to save your work. So before launching the Eclipse, you have to select the workspace, that in which workspace you want to work, and you can create the number of workspace that I already told you. So let's say by default I'm just choosing this particular workspace which is created by the Eclipse, and I'm just clicking on launching. So once you click on launch, it will take some time to just load your Eclipse for you, and once it is done with loading, Eclipse will be get appear on your. And again, all these things is only possible when that provided the Java is successfully configured onto your machine, right? If Java is not successfully configured, in that case, yeah, you will get the error while launching the Eclipse on your machine, right? So this is what a GUI you will be getting when you are opening the Eclipse for the first time. And now let's say I want to execute my first program onto this Eclipse IDE. So in order to execute the first program into the Eclipse IDE, you will simply go to the file and you will be selecting the new option, and from new you will be creating the project, right? So once you click on that, it will be asking you to the type of project which you want to design. So let's say I want to design the Java project, so I will be selecting the Java project. I'll be clicking on next. So the moment you click on next, it will be asking you that what is the name of the project or which project you want to create. Let's say I'm saying that I want to create the first project, that is my first Eclipse program. So I'll be giving the name as project name as first. You can give any name, any random name, right? And I will click on finish. The moment I click on finish, it will be creating the project, the name which I given to the project. So now you will see that the first project is created, and now inside this project you will be having the number of packages, you can have the number of classes. It is totally depending upon the programmer that how many packages and how many classes the programmer wants to put in that particular project, right? So let's say I want to write the code now. In order to write the Java program is basically consisting of some classes and some objects. So what I will be doing, I will simply right click onto this project which are created, and I will go to the new, and let's say I'm directly creating the class, because you cannot write the code in Java without creating the class, right? Means in other words, whenever we are saying that we are writing the Java program, so we are actually writing some class and we are actually writing some objects to in order to execute whatever we have written in that particular class. So I'm just creating the class inside the first project, and once I create the new class, again it is asking me that give the name of the class. Let's say I'm giving the name as a demo class, as it is a demo program for me, and I will click on finish. So the moment I click on finish, so it is created the demo class for me, right? That is public class demo, right? And now whatever I want to do, let's say I want to print something, or let's say I want to execute something. So in order to execute anything onto the output screen, we are having a standard output function in Java that is having the name as we know that it is having the name as system. Let me go to this, that is system dot out dot println or print or printf. All the three statements are valid, and we'll see that what is the difference between print, println and printf in due course of time. And whatever you want to execute, you will be putting that inside the double quotes. Let's say I'm writing welcome, welcome to IDE, right? And each statement will be terminated by the semicolon. Now see the beauty of the IDE. The moment your code is lacking somewhere, it is having some error, it is just that particular line is having this red bar or red cross, which is indicating that your program is having the error, right? So it is quite easy for the programmer to just recognize that which line is having the error. So each line will be terminated with semicolon. So I'll be giving the semicolon. Now you can see that what is the error? System dot out dot println. Fine. Yes. Okay. There should be the dot. Okay. And again, in order to execute the program, your program should have the main function. That is what I missed, and that is the reason why I'm getting the error. And the main function which we write inside the Java, that is public static void main, and we are passing the arguments to that. Let's say string, and I'm passing the arguments, string arguments, and I'm just putting this thing inside that main function. Now you can see that there is no error as such, and now my program is ready to go, right? So we'll just simply execute the program now, and in order to execute the program, you simply have to this green icon, right? The moment you press the green icon, it will ask you to choose the program name which you want to execute. As my program name is demo.java, so I'll be selecting that and I'll click on OK, and now it is giving me the output, that is welcome to IDE, right? Let's say if I want to perform the addition of two numbers, right, I can simply write integer a is equals to 10, then integer b is equals to, let's say, 12, and let's say I'm performing the addition of these two numbers. Integer c is equals to a plus b. So now we can see that the addition is get stored inside the variable c, and in order to print the result, again I have to use the standard output function, that is system dot out dot out dot error, system dot out dot println, and I'll be mentioning that the addition of the addition is okay, and addition is gets stored in C. In order to execute that, I'm just appending that C. This is plus is nothing but the concatenation operator, so plus C, and each statement will be terminated by the semicolon. So I'm putting the semicolon to this, and now what is the error we are getting? That is, this is the error. Fine. So anything else? System dot out dot println addition is this. What is the error? You can see that what type of error the system is giving actually, that the remove the argument to match the println. Okay, no problem. I can even write down this, the addition is okay, and the plus C. Fine. So now you can see that there is no error in the program. Again, in order to execute the program, I will press this green button, that is run demo. It will again ask me if you do not want that this message to be repeat again. So just simply click on this, and it is now giving me the addition is 22. Right. So this is how you are going to write the program using Eclipse IDE. But again, before jumping to the IDE or before start using the IDE, it is quite recommended that you should write some programs using Notepad and command prompt in order to understand the syntax and semantics more properly, right? So before starting using this Eclipse, you should write several programs using Notepad and command prompt, and then only you just jump towards the Eclipse to write the Java program, right? So this is how we are going to write the program using Eclipse. Hope it is clear. So from next class, we'll be starting with, I'm just shuffling the sequence of the unit number 3. Very first thing that we are going to see in the unit number 3, that is the concept related to the class and objects, and in that we are going to write the several programs, that how to write the program using class and object. And once you understand the concept of class and object, we'll be switching towards the topic, that is the array and different types of array in Java, right? So hope it is clear. Thank you for this class. See you in the next class with the next topic, which is class and objects.